Hey family, so I just got on here to record because I just want to encourage someone today to live out their purpose on purpose. I'm headed home and I just had like a few thoughts. I hope y'all can hear me. So I just had a few thoughts of the things that I've been through and where I'm at right now. Sometimes you just gotta be able to understand where you are when you hit rock bottom. And I don't feel like I'm at rock bottom, but I feel like I'm at the bottom going back to the top. Many of you don't know that I just dealt with having ovarian cancer. And what sucks about it is the fact that I had to go through it alone. I had to go through it with just my children, my oldest being 16 years old. And I had a significant other, and they decided, me as a veteran who suffers with PTSD 100%, and then also suffers from other health issues as far as my hips being messed up, but while being in the military, serving in the military. And so just recently I just had to go through a surgery where the doctor had to cut all the cancer cells out. And even though they called themselves numbing the pain, it wasn't numb. I remember feeling every single part of the pain and just laying on that table and having my headphones on, listening to encouraging music, and no one was there to hold my hand. I wanted so bad for somebody to be in the room with me, to hold my hands, to let me know that it's going to be okay. The pain I felt was nothing like childbirth that I have ever felt. They cut pieces of my cervix off, and the pieces that they cut off, they then had to burn the tissue to stop the bleeding because it started bleeding profusely. And they had to cut a part of the cervix off to cut the cancer cells away. And so that was so horrible for me to have to deal with, knowing for a fact that I had cancer, coming home having to sit down and tell my children that they found cancer, that they found ovarian cancer. My children were crying because all they knew about cancer was that it kills you. That's all they knew, is that it kills you. And it was a very scary time for me. Sorry y'all about the background because it's raining really hard in Florida. It's either sunshine or rain. But back to my story. Being a single mom, it literally took almost everything out of me, because I knew that if I passed away from ovarian cancer, and if the cancer was aggressive enough, then my children would literally have no one. And sorry y'all, I had a phone call, but I knew that my children would literally have no one to lean on. So I put in my mind, I paralleled myself up, with Yahweh, and I prayed and I fasted. I brought my flesh under subjection, and I went on in for the surgery. There was nothing I can do. I just had to show up. Like I tell y'all all the time, you gotta show up every day. You gotta keep showing up for yourself. I knew if I passed away from ovarian cancer, that my children would not have no one. Their father is constantly in prison. He stays in prison. He stays doing something that he ain't got no business doing. And so only one of us was mature enough to say, someone got to be out here to raise these 4 children. Like I said, I had a spouse, and we just couldn't see eye to eye. He was very particular with everything he wanted because he was older than me. And here I am coming in 35 years old, learning my way, learning how to control my emotions, learning how to keep a clean home, learning how to balance business and children and being a wife. And also was other things that I won't mention. because some people will never take accountability for anything that they've done or anything that they've wanted to do. A lot of the times people can be very one-sided, and they can come into your life with just one agenda. And like I keep saying, if you a chosen one, Yahweh's not going to allow somebody else's agenda, such as money grabs or just doing everything for yourself and for your children, and nothing that's going to benefit myself or my children. When you have that in the back of your mind at all times, that you have intentions on someone else in their life, and that person is very naive and gullible, because all they are earth angel. They help everyone they know, and they are sometimes very gullible until it comes back to their memory of what just happened. So I knew that if I was laying on that table with ovarian cancer, that I had to push through. I had to fight. And so I dealt with ovarian cancer for 2 years straight. And I remember in the factor of having ovarian cancer, I remember telling my spouse that I had cancer, and his reaction was, "Man, you always sick. You stay sick so much, I can't even get a chance to get sick." And I'm looking at him and I'm like, "You do know you married a veteran, right? You do know that I've been through hell and back just in the service. You do know that before that I dealt with domestic violence. You read my first book, Replanting My Roots, telling word for word everything I went through. And you got the nerve enough to tell me that anytime I would have to use my cane because my hips, I didn't know at the time, one was fractured, the other one there was no blood flow. So I didn't know why I was in pain, but I just knew that I wanted to be normal. That's all he kept telling me. You're not a normal housewife. You're not normal. This and that. You don't get up and make my coffee. If you ain't got to work a job, you should be able to get up every morning, make my coffee, make me breakfast. And I'm just like, I'm not a housewife though. I'm not. I'm a disabled veteran. I'm a veteran above all. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm not a housewife. And I'm a businesswoman. No matter how many times I stop and start, I'm still a businesswoman. I didn't see myself as the little bitty housewife that's being put up and taken care of, because you sure wasn't doing it. You sure wasn't doing it. If we went half on the bill, he made sure he only paid his half. That's it, not a dime more. Period, point blank. And if he did give me something, even as a spouse, it was like, what date and time are you giving me my stuff back? I don't care if it was $10. He would come to me and say, "Hey, I need my $10. Knowing good well I didn't have it, but that's what that was. And so yeah, I lived with ovarian cancer for 2 years straight, and I kind of just put it on the back burner. I knew I was supposed to get the surgery, because I knew if I didn't get the surgery that the cancer would spread very rapidly. But I ended up, after leaving my spouse, after making the move to leave, and y'all, that wasn't easy, being with someone for 5.5 years at that time, and they were all that you know, and they showed you so many new things. Having to walk away from the situation for your betterment and for your mental health was a very tough thing. I think I've never cried so hard in my life. I've never cried so hard in my life from just missing that person, which comes from codependency, but just missing that person, but then understanding that that relationship wasn't healthy, and that it didn't do nothing but beat you down and make you older, and your skin age more than what was supposed to be there. And then complaining about weight gain. But women, we stress eat when we don't feel beautiful. We stress eat when we are stressing, period. I was munching at night, you know. And then also I suffered 3 miscarriages towards the end of that marriage. I suffered 3 miscarriages. One of the significant ones was Christmas Eve of last year, Christmas Eve of 2023. I'll never forget that day. I actually had to pass the child in the toilet and flush it, and that was one of the worst days of my life, but it was the biggest turnaround I've ever seen, because I remember being in so much pain and being in labor because I was going through a miscarriage, and we walking through Busch Gardens. I should be at home with my feet up, passing this, grieving the process. We walking through Busch Gardens, and it was at that moment I knew that I had to stop being so tough, because I come off so tough to everybody, and I've learned how to cope for myself, not to depend on nobody. And because I've been a single mom so long, even in marriages is multiple, I have been still a single mom. People get with me, they're happy with me, they think I'm one of a kind, I'm this, I'm that. Then they get with me and they find out I'm tough. I don't take no for an answer. I can provide everything for myself. I can take care of myself. But the minute I let my guard down and say, okay, I'm gonna allow this man to help me, I'm gonna allow this man to take care of me and my children, and I'll give what I can on the situation, on the relationship, especially when it turns into a marriage. And then they mask fall off, and you see the true them, and they get jealous because you got one baby daddy that's locked up, so he's null and voided. He calls when he calls. You deal with him when you want to, and you don't have to. You're not still sleeping with him, so you literally are just a parent who has children. Then they see that you not needy like a lot of women out here that are in need because they work a 9 to 5, or they are dependent on a man to provide for them. And so they find out that you're not needy. They find out that you are everything that you said that you are, and that you're not a liar, you're not a cheater, that you are loyal to death. They find out all that about you, and some way, somehow, I'm not saying every man, but the men I have dealt with, even the one that was so great to me, and he knows who he is, a person that we went through a lot of poverty together, a lot of downs, but that man knew how to treat me. He knew my love languages, and he knew how to give me gifts randomly. And I'm not talking about the person that taught me how to cook correctly. I ain't talking about him, not the person that we went on trips together. I'm talking about the one before him. That was a real man. That was a person that that you would call someone that stepped up when somebody stepped away. That's what you call a stepdad, a person that stepped up when someone stepped away, not somebody that stepped up because they feel like they about to get a return on their investment. So anyway, I lived with the ovarian cancer for 2 years. After I decided to leave my spouse, I decided to go ahead and get the surgery. I did tell him after we had already separated that I had to get the surgery, and that most likely I needed him because he was the only person I knew here in Florida, because we came here together, that I needed him to take me. But because of his arrogance and his attitude, I would always be back and forth, up and down, and he would be like, oh, you know, you're having a tantrum or you're spazzing out, so I can't do this, I can't do that for you. And y'all better watch them old school playboys, the ones that been pretty boys all their life, that women just grabble at their feet. I'm telling y'all, them are some spoiled man babies that you do not need in your life. If you already got children, please don't get you a man child. Don't get you a man baby. Do not get you a man baby that feels like he should just sit back, kick his feet up when he ain't did nothing in life to earn that. Simple as that. Ain't did nothing in life to earn it. So anyway, that's what I had to deal with, and it was at that moment, like I said, that I had to learn that I had to stop being strong. I had to stop portraying those attributes all the time, and I had to learn how to start asking for help. I had to learn how to start receiving help. Right now, they got me on bed rest because I do have to go. Now I have to go get double hip surgery. I don't think I have to get anything. I don't think I have to get anything put into my hips, but I have to go get double hip surgery. So I will be telling y'all about this on here, because it's all about Creator Chanel's purpose. We never know what our Creator has put in our life to be purposeful for us. We can't choose, but we can learn lessons and move forward. And I think I never moved forward from my last significant person because I'm a person that needs closure. I need to know the wins and the whys. It could be the Aquarius in me, logical. Everything has to be logical. Everything has to make sense, as we are in the age of Aquarius right now. But everything has to make sense. And so once I got from him the reason why he made the moves he did, the reason why he did the things he did, once I got that clear understanding, I'm a person that believes that everyone has free will. You cannot make somebody be with you. And once you understand, ladies, that if a man can walk away from you completely and total, and the fastest way that he can get over you is by having sex and being sexually active with another woman while still being married at the time. Once you know that, you need to reevaluate who you was dealing with the whole time. So with me, like I said, coming into the revelation of that, understanding that ever since I walked away from the situation, I have been having blessings after blessings. I have had blessings fall. I have had increase in my finances, increase in the very business that he told me was a failure and it's going to be a failure, and that he deliberately told me to leave in Indiana. When it's not on you, but it's in you, you can't just drop it like that. It won't leave you alone until you complete the task at hand. So, I make no regrets of what I've done. I make no regrets of the choices I've made. I'm excited to move forward. I'm excited to grow my YouTube channel, you know, coming back onto other different social medias. I'm excited to be a part of that. I'm a little bit under the weather right now, sinus wise. Keep sneezing, my nose is stopped up, but I know that there's tasks that I have to do. There's tasks at hand. I'm coming from a doctor's appointment right now where I just got clearance for my surgery. So y'all will be seeing more videos like this uploaded. You're gonna see more videos like this uploaded. Yes, that was me honking because we were at a arrow at the light, and we all know as drivers, we don't get, that arrow comes and goes. That arrow, you will be sitting there forever. So no, I'm gonna need you to pay attention. But anyway, so I have been cleared for surgery. I do have to have hip surgery. I don't know the exact date yet, so I'm going to continue to push. I'm going to continue to complete the task that I need to do inside of my business. There's things that needs to happen, and there's things that needs to go on. So I'm going to continue to do those things because I know that I will be successful. But anyway, that's a part of me waking up to myself. That's why I recorded this video. It's Wake Up Wednesday, and I needed to wake up to who I am. I need to always take self-evaluation and self-inventory of my life every single weekend. I need to hire, fire, and promote people and demote people in my life according to the purposes that they serve. And I advise you to do the same thing. So I hope y'all having a wonderful day. I hope y'all having a wonderful Wednesday. Don't give up. Make sure you discover your purpose that the Creator has put on the inside of you for a purpose, and make sure that you pursue your purpose on purpose. Thank y'all. Creator Chanel.